A Christmas Story is just one of the more iconic Christmas movies ever made. So much so that on Christmas Eve, TBS shows it on a 24-hour loop. Yes, really. And not only is it iconic, it's one of those Christmas movies that everybody can relate to. I watch it every year with my dad, and he and I, even though we've seen it 100 times, we know exactly what's coming, and we laugh our heads off every time. If you have seen this movie, and if you've clicked on this video, there's a high chance that you have, you know this plot by heart. However, to the three people who have never seen it, here's the skinny. Young boy named Ralph Parker, who really wants a Red Ryder BB gun. However, his parents are like, no, you'll shoot your eye out, kid. And basically, this movie is this kid's Homerian odyssey in trying to get this BB gun. With frozen poles, obscenities, bars of soap, salty Santa Clauses, and everything in between. I think this video might just be me just devolving into just talking about my favorite scenes in this movie, and there are quite a few. But I will try and talk about things from a technical side of things. The young boy, Ralph, is played by Peter Billingsley, and he would go on to have small parts in movies and be a director. Probably the most known of his films other than A Christmas Story is when he had a little cameo in Elf, and you'll know him when you see him. What I love about this performance is that he doesn't act like a saint-like kid. He curses and eats a bar of soap for it. He gets bummed out when things don't go his way. He gets genuinely excited for the things that he likes, like the Little Orphan Annie radio show. It's honestly kind of beautiful. But he's not happy all the time. He gets frustrated and he gets downright just mad on occasion. One of my favorite scenes in the movie is just when he gets bullied by Scott Farkus and his little toady, one time too many. And Farkus is like, oh, where are you gonna cry? And then Ralphie just starts crying, and then he just goes Ultimate Warrior on them, charges them, and just starts punching Farkus like an MMA fighter. And during this time, he's like, sucka, fucka, rack, sucka. I was bullied all throughout elementary school, and I am not a violent person, but every time I watch that, I just feel complete and utter bliss. But this is not some kind of, violent or whatever you want to call it. This isn't a violent scenario. As soon as Ralphie's mom comes and puts a stop to it, he just bursts out crying again, because he didn't want to do it. It just... his animal instincts just took over. This feels like a real kid that we would know, or sometimes were in cases. There's, of course, the overprotective mother, played by Melinda Dillon, wrapping her youngest child in, all the sweaters and all the coats. Seriously, it's... I'm surprised that kid could even walk. There's even a line in one of the earlier fights with Farkus where the voiceover goes, Randy lay there like a slug. It was his only defense. And then there is the old man, played by Darren McGavin. In my research, I found that this role was supposed to be played by Jack Nicholson. Yes, the one you're thinking of. I gotta be honest, I'm so glad they went with Darren McGavin because, well, let's just say Jack Nicholson, as great an actor as he is, plays Jack Nicholson, or at least an exaggerated version of himself, in pretty much all of his movies. So, instead of seeing the old man, I would probably just be seeing Jack Nicholson playing the old man. Darren McGavin is the old man. Even though it has nothing to do with the plot whatsoever, my father and I just laugh like complete loons whenever that furnace just goes amok. Especially when he goes, it's a clinker! And then he runs downstairs, he's like, you GD furnace, and he's kicking the thing, and it's great stuff. Honestly, I could talk about this movie for days. There is just so much to love here. And there are these little moments that are just so good. Strip away all of the humor. When you bore it right down to it, it's just, it's so nice. It really feels like that. There's a part of me that feels very dismayed that this movie got like a ton of merchandise and a sequel that I have not seen, though I have heard is very bad, and I really just don't want to. And they even did a Christmas Story live with Matthew Broderick, which again I have not seen. To me, it feels like a Christmas Story just feels complete in its own little world. However, there is a part of me that also feels that since it is on a 24-hour loop, there is a new generation who will watch it and absolutely love it, just like I did when I first saw it. And at the end of the day, when talking about like seminal Christmas classics, it's got to be like the Holy Trinity is It's a Wonderful Life, A Christmas Story, and Home Alone. Stay tuned.